we are back with entrepreneur Jordan Wendelken. Jordan, you've talked about your history and what you're doing now, but your future looks mighty bright too. What is your plan for the future?
Well, you know, I never came in here with plans as much as I did with objectives. And
what's the difference?
You know, I think plans are, a lot of people can spend a lot of time on plans. Every business should have a marketing plan and a business plan. I unfortunately always made those a second priority. It was more, let's get it up and going, and then let's worry about a solid plan.
So what's wrong with that? I mean, it's worked for you.
I wouldn't ever suggest it. You know, I've made a lot of errors in my past, and I almost learned through trial by error. So I don't preach that, but I would just say, you know, for me, it just so happened to work out. But, you know, as far as setting objectives and goals, that was more important to me. I would see something and I would say, well, let's jump on that now, because if I sit around planning it, who knows, somebody else could take on that.
That's a good point. But by the same token, it's always good to have a plan if you can. If you can do it quickly, I guess.
Correct. I agree 100%.
So let's talk a little bit about, since we're on that tips and advice track,
Sure.
If you had to, in a nutshell, give aspiring entrepreneurs some tips and advice, what would you tell them?
Well, you know, I think earlier I had mentioned the 3 pillars that I think are of success, and I wanted to add on to that, actually, that if you can't think that your product or your service is the best, you just can't. Because the moment you do that, you'll stop being the best, even if you are. So I wanted to add on to that. You know, I have spend money to make money, delegate, don't be afraid to advertise, as well as, like I just mentioned, don't think you're the best, because then you'll stop being the best.
And that whole plan objective thing, I guess you have to be pretty insightful so you know when you need to get it up and running and not worry about the plan so much.
Yeah, you know, and that's what it's all about. If you stick to a plan, then you have no way to, you know, maneuver around these confrontations, conflictions, things like that. You're never going to know. The business climate's always changing.
And those who say you've got to have the plan, you've got to have a plan, what do you say to them?
I think it's just do whatever you feel is natural.
Very good. And finally, giving back. I know you like to give back. It's important for all of us to do that. How does Jordan Wendelken give back?
You know, I've actually been a volleyball coach, and so a lot of my time I also spend teaching junior high, high school, professional, college, you know, really young groups how to play volleyball. And I've actually taught middle school and high school science, and that was always, to me, is teaching kind of came natural, just because learning came natural.
Yeah. And why is giving back so important to you?
Because I think that sometimes we all just need a little kick in the butt, and sometimes that kick in the butt comes from just learning and hearing. There's so many things in my past I know that I could pinpoint, just, oh, I remember that one person told me this one thing, and that changed the course of my thinking.
So you're nearly 30 years old, Jordan. Most people may not even begin their career until 30, and you've already been in the business as an entrepreneur for about, what, 15 years?
About, yeah.
And so you've done a lot more than the average bear, if you will. You know?
Right.
So where do you go from here at this point, since you've done so much already?
You know, a lot of it is maintenance. You know, you get something started, then you maintain it. It's funny because I actually coached that same philosophy. Is, you know, you take somebody who's never played volleyball before, then you have somebody who is seasoned, and then you have somebody who's professional. The beginning stages are all about just teaching technique. Then after that, it's just maintenance and building upon that. So, you know, I think that a lot of my future just holds in maintaining what I've already built. Maybe there's new things, you know, I have some new ideas that I'd like to start up, so we'll see where it gets us.
Is an entrepreneur an idea person?
Oh man, I wake up every single morning with brand new ideas. And it never stops.
Is that the key to your success, you think?
Creativity definitely is. Whether it's the business owner or somebody who works for the business, I think it's all about putting the right people in the right places. They call it like the business bus, putting the right people in the right seats.
Partnerships?
Definitely.
Is that part of what you have going?
Yeah, I think that being a business owner could be a partner, and your role may be a financial role. Your success in being able to help support somebody else, that may be it. I don't think that one person over another, depending on whatever their role is in a business, I don't think that makes them more or less a business person. I think that any type of position that you hold in a business is just as important as the other.
Well, why do you think it is that some people make it big, like yourself, as entrepreneurs, and some don't?
You know, I'm approached every single day with new customers and customers who want, to partner with me, and if I can help them get to this level, they can get this percentage. Everybody wants to be able to say, hey, if I can make $1 million, I'll pay you $100,000. Everybody will say that. I think it really matters it can't just be a great idea. It has to be a great idea that has potential, and it has to be a great idea that can service a lot of people. If you've just said, oh, this idea will help 20 people, that's not going to be as successful.
So when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, you have to identify the need, and you have to be able to fill that need, but it also takes a certain characteristic in the individual to make sure that they can follow through with that, with their so-called plan, if you will, to make sure that the end result is what it should be, which is success. But not all people can get to that point. So would you say it takes the patience, the tenacity, it takes
integrity.
Yeah, never say die kind of philosophy, right?
That's right.
Integrity is big, right?
It is.
Most entrepreneurs say that. Why is integrity important to you as an entrepreneur?
Because I believe in order to gain, whether it's trust with customers or financial support and backers, I think you have to have that. I think that the business world today is lacking integrity because we get a lot of our cues from our forefathers, and with political climates and things like that, economic climates. I think a lot of people are grasping onto real quick things, fast money, and it can't be about fast money.
Nothing happens, true success, it is all about patience. True success doesn't happen overnight.
That's right.
Right? All right, Jordan Wendelken, thank you so much, the owner of Wall-iT, and an entrepreneur since he was 16 years old. Thank you so much for being on the show, and if you would like to be on the show, please visit our website. I'm Janet Zapala. Thank you for joining us.